Bob Dylan is often hailed as America's poetic troubadour, the voice that transformed folk music into something fiery and prophetic. Yet behind the legend lies a darker story of grudges and simmering rivalries. Over the years, Dylan harbored deep resentment toward certain artists and bands, some for borrowing his ideas, others for public slights, and some simply for crossing a line he considered sacred. What follows is a look at 6 of the musicians and performers Dylan quietly came to despise, his private battles rarely known to fans. Eric Clapton, the blues turf war. Dylan's clash with Clapton centered on authenticity. During a 1970s recording session, Clapton cut off a guitar solo Dylan requested, declaring, "This is my space." Dylan walked out, leaving his harmonica as a silent protest. Years later, they avoided collaboration at live events, each convinced of his own legitimacy. Dylan saw Clapton's technical focus as hollow, while Clapton dismissed Dylan's reliance on myth over mastery. Neil Young, the generational rivalry. Dylan reportedly grew resentful when Young started claiming the mantle of folk rock conscience in the 1970s. Songs like Ohio propelled Young into the spotlight, drawing comparisons to Dylan. When Young criticized the public's hero worship of Dylan, it ignited tension. Dylan publicly mocked Young's experimental trance album, while Young retaliated by warping Blowing in the Wind on stage. The rivalry endured quietly for decades. Joni Mitchell. The sting of betrayal. What began as mutual admiration soured over decades. In a 2010 interview, Mitchell publicly called Dylan a fraud, claiming his persona was fabricated and his style borrowed. She even mocked his distinctive singing on air. For Dylan, this went beyond critique. It felt like an attack on his identity. Their early rapport, once warm and respectful, dissolved into cold indifference, a feud fueled by jealousy and pride that neither artist has repaired. 1. The Byrds. Pop interpreters turned provocation. Dylan reportedly listened to the Byrds' 1965 version of Mr. Tambourine Man and was visibly shocked. The song's poetic depth had been condensed into a brisk pop hit, stripping the lyrics of their meaning. When Roger McGuinn approached Dylan expecting praise, Dylan allegedly told him, "You've destroyed my song." For Dylan, it wasn't a cover, it was an offense, and he refused subsequent collaborations with the band, viewing their hit-making approach as a betrayal of artistic integrity. The Beatles. Admiration turned wariness. Initially, Dylan and the Fab Four shared camaraderie. But Dylan noticed the Beatles absorbing his lyrical style, culminating in frustration over Yesterday, which he dismissed as unoriginal. John Lennon responded with a private parody of Dylan's voice. Media comparisons as the generation's poets only deepened the rift, leaving mutual admiration forever tinged with rivalry. Zsa Gabor, the celebrity who annoyed. Dylan's displeasure with Gabor was unique. It wasn't musical, but personal. He reportedly saw her as emblematic of empty celebrity, performing only herself in every role. Her refusal to engage in any deeper craft or transformation left Dylan unimpressed, a constant reminder of what he despised in fame without substance. These 6 stories reveal a rarely seen side of Dylan, protective of his craft, intolerant of imitation or superficiality, and fiercely committed to artistic honesty. Behind the iconic songs and public persona, Dylan maintained a private ledger of grudges, evidence that even legends have their limits when it comes to integrity in art.